NFL Combine happened. Unfortunately, it just so happened that I got sick during the part I wanted to see the most, and I missed it, so that sucks. Um, but a lot of interesting things to come out of the combine. Um, you know, records broken, space is not real, pigeons are fake. A lot of
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
yeah, a lot of good things, a lot of funny things, and that sort of thing there. But again, the one thing that I have mentioned that I think a lot of people need to pay attention to: who are the Browns meeting with? Who are they talking to? Who are they going out of their way to spend time with to find out more about them? And we have the list. Now there is a guy on not on the list that I wish was on the list. But regardless, let's talk about it. So, Troy
So
Franklin, first name. How do you want to
wide
do this? Do you want to?
wide receiver out of Oregon, Xavier Worthy out of Texas,
Mm-hmm.
Blake Larson. I'm not going to say that. Even
No, do
attempt
it.
to say this
Do
guy's
it.
name.
Do it.
Tuli Latua Gassiona. I probably butchered that, and I apologize. Defensive tackle out of Washington, Malik Washington, wide receiver out of the University of Virginia, Malik Murphy out of North Carolina, Braden Fisk, defensive tackle from Florida State, Mason Smith from LSU, another D tackle, Jermaine Burton, a speedster out of Bama, and Javion Cohen out of the U, offensive guard.
Mm.
Derek, what's your thoughts on these players?
Well, first things first. I doubt he'll see this, but memes. If on the off chance you see this, I'm gonna need a remix of Tony trying to pronounce that name. Um. So, a couple things here. What do you see from the list? Wide receiver, defensive
D
tackle,
tackle and
offensive
guards.
guard. I personally guarantee you that the Browns will draft a defensive tackle, a wide receiver,
And a
and an
guard.
offensive guard. Like they're not gonna meet with these guys if they're not interested. Um, Surprised some names aren't on the list. The name I wanted to be on the list was Xavier Leggett. He was not. We'll talk about him in a minute. But Troy Franklin, outstanding speedster, I think would be a good fit. The guy who I think is a perfect fit, fits every possible need the Browns have, Xavier Worthy, who I've been pounding the
Yeah.
table for.
I don't think he's going to fall that far, unfortunately.
Yeah, right. We set the combine record for 2-1.
Yep.
Replaced
Great
John
4 yard
Ross.
dash. I would love to have Jermaine Burton or
Yeah, me
Miles
too.
Murphy. Miles Murphy's another name I'd like to see. Malik Washington would be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, as for the guards, I'm going to be honest. I think I'd take Javion Cohen over Blake Larson
Mm-hmm.
if he falls to us. But definitely the three positions we need to highlight in this draft. We've really been struggling at wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Defensive tackle, we need some depth. And guards, our offensive line can't stay healthy. So, and, Joel Batonio and Wyatt Teller are getting up there in age.
Yeah. I don't know how Brie Larson is playing offensive guard.
I
I
I
don't know
just
how
don't
that happened.
simply think that's.
um,
Did I say Brie Larson?
no, no,
Okay,
I'm
good.
being stupid. Um,
No, I just had to make sure that would have been a bad slip
no,
up.
that would have been funny. But yeah, I love a lot of guys on this list. Jermaine Burton, Mason Smith. I don't really know a whole lot about Braden Fisk. I'll be honest. Miles Murphy, I love. Malik Washington is the one that I don't like. I'm not a fan of gadget receivers. I'm just not. Him and Malachi Corley, I'm not big fans of. Like I think it's a little bit crazy how high some draft experts have them. To me, if you're a gadget guy in college, what are you gonna do in the NFL? Like
Right.
I'm gonna need to see a lot, a lot, a lot.
I agree completely.
Yeah.
So moving on,
Mm.
some of the combine that you did see, who do you like? Who do you dislike? What do you want to hit on?
Yeah, so there was a lot that I really, really liked. Um, Peyton Wilson was unreal. He was unreal. He showed out. in the combine at a North Dakota State linebacker. Um, he's incredible. I like him a lot. I think he, in my opinion, him or the next guy, might as well just say him, Jeremiah Trotter. Um, I feel like the Browns, if they can get one of Peyton Wilson, Jeremiah Trotter, or in my opinion, Junior Colson, I think we would be great as far as coming out of the draft with a linebacker. I think all those would be good fits. I like Tommy Eichenberg. I know a lot of like Buckeye fans are like, "Oh, get Tommy." I think Tommy's good, but if you're gonna come away with a guy, or it's a draft, you're not gonna know how good these guys are for a couple years. But Peyton Wilson, Jeremiah Trotter, especially, but then like Junior Colson, I love. On the running back side of things, some guys showed out. Trey Benson, Jalen Wright,
Yep, great combines from both of them.
absolutely outstanding. I still liked old buddy from Wisconsin, Braylon Allen. Is that right?
Braylon Allen, yep.
Yeah. I thought he was solid. It was cool to see Frank Gore Jr. Tony, what did you think
Yeah.
about that?
Oh, sorry, it's a little late. It is almost 11 p.m. I'm old and tired.
Is
Don't
it
mean to yawn
actually?
during. It's about 10:30.
Oh.
Late podcast. Browns after dark, if you will.
Oh my gosh.
That's
Oh
gonna start a fight.
boy. Oh boy.
Anyway,
Oh boy. I can't
uh,
wait to get those phone calls. Um,
anyways, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, Jalen Wright, great combine. 4.38 on the 40, 1.55 on the 10-yard split. Lengthy, long guy, above average vertical, high
Pause.
broad jump. Yes, pause. Highest out of the running backs, I believe. He was running through Rocky Top last year. Maybe going to be running through the NFL as a potential first, early second round pick after that performance. Trey Benson, 4.39 on the 40, 1.52 split. Another guy, great length, pause, average, but he had an average vert and a solid broad jump. He was solid at FSU. Wouldn't mind seeing him with a team that fits him. There's a lot of teams around the NFL that could use a guy like Trey Benson in their backfield. Now, one guy I was particularly disappointed in, Audric Estime. I was pounding the table for Audric Estime, and he just let me down. He looked absolutely awful. I don't think I've felt sadder watching someone fall down a hole than when I lowered my dad's casket. He ran a 4.71 on the 40-yard dash, and that's ridiculous for a guy that I've seen have so much more speed.
Yeah.
But he did redeem himself a little bit with the vertical jump, 38 inches, solid broad jump, and he had 23 reps on the bench. So he redeemed himself, but I expected a lot better performance at Audric at Pound.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I was paying attention to him. I still think he's talented. Hey, and it might be better news for the Browns. They met with
Yeah,
him. So
yeah. If we can grab Audric Estime, that makes
mhm.
it great.
We can grab him with like a late, like, I don't even know. I mean, fifth rounder, something like that.
Don't undersell him that much. I'd say maybe a third rounder.
No. With all the
Yes.
running backs,
Let me dream.
I mean, I don't know, but anyway, at wide receiver, a lot of guys showed out. Xavier Worthy, record combine time. The dude, I'm a big fan of him. I think he's going to be great wherever he goes. I would love him to come to Cleveland again. I think he fits everything we need. But unfortunately, my gut's kind of telling me that he's not going to be there, which
No, there's
is,
no way, unfortunately.
yeah. But I hope he ends up in a spot that he's gonna be showcased, because a lot of people have been saying a lot of shit about him that's not fair. Yes, he has the drops a little bit, but the dude played through with a broken hand last year, so it's not the end of the world. But Like guys like Brian Thomas Jr. at a good combine.
Yep,
Keon
out of
Coleman.
LSU. Keon
Keon,
Coleman was another great guy.
he was interesting, and this is a guy that could slip. I feel like
For sure.
um, he ran very slow, but you know, producer Jacob brought this up. He was on the field drills was I believe he said the fastest receiver, um, which is interesting. Play speed
He
and straight line speed are two different things.
he's got blazing speed, that's for sure. And he'd be a great asset regardless of where he goes.
Yeah.
And there's a lot to pull from skill position wise in this draft. There's a ton to pull from. Now, yeah, Keon Coleman ran a pretty slow 40, a little bit of an average vertical, excuse me, and he skipped the bench press. So not a lot to go from his combine, but he has a pro day still.
He's a
He
bully,
has plenty of time to
dude.
improve.
He's a bully. If you turn on his
Oh
film,
yeah,
that man is out there just. I mean,
absolutely.
he's making some grown men look like little boys. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy. So I mean,
I
you know,
I did say this on Twitter. And I know me and Derek will differ on this. I am not an NFL combine guy. To me, how fast you can run in a 40-yard dash. To me, how many bench presses you can do, how high you can jump. It means nothing to me if you're doing it without pads, without coverage, without players in your face. What matters to me is when you put them shoulder pads on, you put your helmet on, and you play football.
yeah.
And as you said, Keon Coleman is a bully, and he will make you look awful.
Mm,
So I'm not even worried about his let's be honest, lackluster combine performance in the, I'll call them show out drills because that's what people look for.
yeah.
Everyone, what's your 40 time? What'd you bench? What's your vert?
Mm,
I don't care.
mm-hmm,
When he puts football pads on, he's a monster. That's what
mm-hmm.
matters to me. That's what tells me I think Keon Coleman's going to be a fantastic NFL football player.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I honestly, I think you can say the same with all these guys. Lad Mahonky had a decent combine. He was solid. But the one guy we need to talk about here before we move on, I know we're coming down to the end. Um, Xavier Leggett. This is a guy that I want the Browns to get so bad. Like if we can't get Xavier Worthy, give me Xavier Leggett. This guy, he is 6'3", 237, I want to say, of pure muscle. You see him there, dude. It literally looks like AJ Brown. Like he is huge. And I want to say he ran a 4.47. That dude ran a
Yeah,
4.47. Now
blazing
again,
speed.
yeah, and again, straight line speed. I understand that not always correlates, but when you watch the film, this dude is legit. There was a play, I forget who it was against, but he just caught a simple slant over the middle, and it was in double coverage where he just caught it and then took off right between the two defenders, took it to the house for a touchdown. Like this guy is legit. And if this wide receiver draft was not as stacked as it is, um, he would be probably like a top fifth. Like I'd say he would be like a fifth, around 15 picked.
I agree.
So, you
He's going
know,
to be solid in the NFL. There's just this draft is so deep when it comes to wide receiver and running back talent,
mm-hmm,
and pretty deep. I'd say average depth maybe quarterback wise. You got Williams, you got Michael Penix, you got Blue Nix, you got Sam Hartman. Like there's a lot of different quarterbacks to pick from.
mm-hmm,
Fantastic running backs, great wide receivers. The draft's definitely going to be an interesting one this year. It almost makes me wish the Cleveland Browns had a high pick, first round pick.
yeah,
Fortunately, not the case. We get to sit, but for the first time in a long time over these last few years, we've actually got to sit back and enjoy draft day and
mm-hmm,
not panic and just kind of watch what other moves teams around us make.
mm-hmm.